He can be wildly funny, deeply serious, and everything in between. I'm always excited to see him read, as I am right now. Would you please welcome Ross Donlon?
Thank you. I just returned from Katoomba, being with some people up there. I guess some of you here have been to Katoomba, and I'm from Sydney originally and used to go to Katoomba quite a bit. It's a spooky place if you haven't been there, or if you have. So this is a Katoomba poem called Panorama. Sometimes the lookout is a ship run aground, the valley more Colosseum than postcard pretty. Sandstone cliffs become women in shawls who stare through mist or glide inside it. Sometimes trees and air camouflage each other. An echo is like seeing nothing in the mirror. The cable car is impossible to watch as it vanishes into a labyrinth of cloud. Sometimes the hotel, abandoned by lovers, crests on a headland like the Titanic, but still our cameras flash like diamonds as we try to catch the suicide of water. I'd like to do another spooky one. This is called Lookout. Morning looks in as you look up over the edge and out. Ferny treetops offer fronds soft enough to land on. Just the floating fence and your limbs tingle stops you taking one last glass of champagne air and swimming past filmy currents, cascading leaves and cobweb mist. Water falling is the only sound of breathing. A matchbox cable car slides up, one slips out of sight. A black cockatoo glides into cloud, speck of ash on white. Tourists shout to a mirror of sound, looking for themselves a moment past. A small boy sees something nameless invade his universe. His young parents suddenly hug at the fence. He says, "We're close, Dad, aren't we?" Thank you. I was asked last year to submit a poem about Sydney rivers. Now, actually, I was born in Ashfield, in the western suburbs. It was closer to canals than rivers. But then I remembered being with my cousins at the Parramatta River. Parramatta's, it always was a pretty tough town. So this is called By Parramatta River I Lay Down. Mrs. P, Mrs. A, Mrs. RRA, Mrs. M, Mrs. A, Mrs. TTA, shout the Westmead girl cousins on the muddy banks of the Parra River in Parramatta Park. Everything is Parramatta. The lesson is how to spell Parramatta. The little Lord Fauntleroy, too teased city cousin in his going out outfit, not fit for the Parra. Half boys, they swing river ropes as Tarzan or Jane, strew their bodies in the sun like a puzzle, swim crocodiles under reeds, clap armed jaws that clutch, aim sharks at the Ashfield statue stuck to his ankles. The afternoon disrobes in sequins, the river invading him with probable snakes, quicksands, snags, rips, curtains of weeping willow, which close on childhood and open on adolescence. The bookish cousin feels pages turning on the act so fast. His eyes blur with the speed of rapids projecting time until he emerges, primeval, lays down in the mud, exhausted, newly crawled out specimen of evolution, girl-watched and watching, child's skin washed off in the river. Thank you. Steve kindly said that I do play around with all sorts of forms of poetry, and I do write about all sorts of things, and some try to be funny, and I might get to a funny one. But I've become interested in what are called guzzles lately. I won't bother explaining to you. I know some of you will know what they are, but for those who don't, you'll get the idea. And I live in Castlemaine now, and my favourite bird lives up there, the white cockatoos. And so this is a white cockatoo's guzzle. Dotting morning trees like perky meringues, a mob of white cockatoos wake workers with their shark's cry of white cockatoo, white cockatoo. Wheeling through air from the wrong side of town, the bad boy and girl birds bash trees, ride sky Harleys under sulphur helmets badged white cockatoo. Sleep is murdered, and dreams are polka dot nightmares of staccato calls as they rattle clouds, use trees as trampolines, and shout the rule of the white cockatoo. Life is their relish, clever claws and cheeky beaks snatch and grab from the orchard's boring rose. Every branch ruptured by Monsieur Connoisseur, white cockatoo. Sheikhs of summer, their robes flow with more abandon than any Lawrence of Arabia could twirl on a train, and with more insight, rejoicing in being a white cockatoo. Iconoclasts of heaven's big top, be it starch grey, gold, crimson, or panoramic blue, they are lords of misrule, skylarking for poor us, who are not white cockatoos. Earth needs these outriders, scouts at the edge of the black hole universe, warrior clowns who live as long as humans, but upside down, disorderers of Australia, the white cockatoo. Yet at rest on a waving branch, after another day's drama, an inner self shines from their feathers. Sheathed like monks, they nod in contemplation, seeking the way of the white cockatoo. I love them, my shadow self and totem. Rejoice each day in their cartoon drama, and bite my bars, call for rescue with a lyrebird's cry, so I could rise and roar with the white cockatoos. Thank you, you've been really great, and I've read it at the Dan a couple of times over the years. I just love reading here. I think you have to do the Dan, and anybody who hasn't is really missing out on a poetic experience. So good on you, Steve and Libby and all those who've kept the Dan going over the years, and the regulars. It's a very special place for poetry. So yes, Sherbagan, the Sea Road, 50 Tunka, that 5-line form, a bit like a haiku with the 2 extra lines of 7 syllables. So each of the poems, 5, 7, 5, 7, 7. And I was lucky to write all the poems during a residency in Alvik, this little town. And I've been there, I think, 4 or 5 times now. And luckily I met a terrific teacher who had her class translate them. And they sound terrific in Norwegian. They sound better in Norwegian than they do in English, actually. But I'll just read you a couple to finish off this 15-minute set. This is 33. So they're all 5, 7, 5, 7, 7. Wild day, trees, breathing, gulls float, adjusting feathers to keep motionless. Only the birds understand wind's lonely modulations. 34. Inside the tree's web, a silent movie flickers, the sun's projector. The sky is a cinema showing a morning program. 55. I wake each morning with a view of my childhood, a tree's hand waving, ladders to climb, web shadows. The sun wakes up like a boy. Thanks everyone, to Dan. Thanks Mr. Steve. Thanks Eddie. Just go for it. Thank you.